بینەرانی بەڕێزم کاتەوە هەموو کاتێکتان شاد و کامەران لە ستۆدیۆی کراوەی کوردستان 24 لە ڕۆژی نزای نیشتیمانی لە هەولێری پایتەختی کوردستانەوە لەگەڵتانی دیدارێکی ترمان هەیە لەگەڵ پرۆفیسۆر دکتۆر جێری پادینکەل نووسەر و لێکۆڵەر لە بواری ئاینیدا. بەڕێز دکتۆر جێری گەلێک سوپاس بۆ ئەم دیدارە لەگەڵ کوردستان 24 هەروەها بەخێربن بۆ کوردستان.
Thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here, and especially with what I would call a war hero. It's really an honor.
زۆر سپاس دەکەم لوتفتان هەیە. دکتۆر جێری ئێستا ئێوە لە هەرێمی کوردستانن ئەم ڕۆژی نزای نیشتیمانی بوو. ئێوەش لە بواری لێکۆڵەرن لە بواری ئاینیدا دڵنیام شارەزای مێژووی کوردیشن. ئەم ڕووداوای ئەمڕۆ ئەم ڕۆژی نزایە چ واتایەکی هەیە؟
A lot of times the world sees what's happening in the Middle East with opaque glasses, and if they would come here, it kind of helps you see more clearly the fight and the hope for a better future. What's happening here, I traveled 30 hours to be here. It would have been worth 300 hours because I'm with a people that have taken a 300 generation journey to be to this point and fighting for their future. It's been an amazing experience to sit and to listen to your experts and your leaders.
زۆر سپاس زۆر باشە دەست خۆش دکتۆر جێری بۆ خۆت دەزانی ینی کورد بەردەوام خەباتی کردو قوربانی داوە بۆ ئازادی و سربەخۆیی خۆی. ئەمڕۆژ سەرۆک بارزانی سەرپەرشتی ڕۆژی نزای نیشتیمانی دەکا. ئەمە چ واتایەکێ پاش ئەو هەموو خەباتە ئێستا هەوڵ بدرێت هەموو پێکاتە ئاینی و نەتەوەیەکان کۆ بکرێنەوە؟
I have already sent back my own video from my iPhone of your Prime Minister entering the room. There was excitement as the leaders of the different religions stood. And if you were in the room, and I hope people see that clip, I hope you show the clip, because we had very respected leaders from many different traditions standing and wanting to be in pictures and wanting to share the same stage, which is an amazing thing to experience because you could tell that even though they were from different religions, your national leader made a very clear point for the benevolence and of of coexistence, of benevolent, peaceful coexistence. And that was a very clear message.
زۆر باشە دکتۆر جێری وەکو پێشتریش ئامادەم پێکرد کورد مێژوویکی سەختی خوێناوی هەیە بۆ بەڵام ئێستا بۆتە شوێنی پێکۆژیان سەقامترین شوێن نەکرد لە عێراق لە تەواوی ڕۆژهەڵاتی ناوەڕاست. ئەمڕۆژ هاتووە ڕۆژی نزای نیشتیمانی دەکات داوای پێکەوە ژیان دەکات. ئەمەیان چه پەیامێکی پێیە بۆ نەیارانی گەلی کورد بۆ ئەوانەی کە نایەنوێ بە ئاشتی بژین لە تەواوی ڕۆژهەڵاتی ناوەڕاستیش؟
There's a message in some of my books. The dream needs to be stronger than the struggle. And today was evidence that the struggle has been tough. And we heard some testimonies today of some of that struggle. And some people will have years to recover. But when you see what took place here, steps have been taken towards that. And coming from America, I think seeing this many people from America and from Europe also helps them to realize that they can come to your yard, they can come to your city, and they can enjoy the conversations with people of character.
باش دکتۆر جێری ئێستا لە ڕۆژهەڵاتی ناوەڕاست شەڕ و پێکدادان هەیە کە بنەماکانیشی شەڕی ئاینیە. ئێوە نووسەر و لێکۆڵەرن لە بواری ئایندا چی بەوانە دەڵێ کە هەموو دنیا یەک خوایان هەیە یەک خودایان هەیە بەڵام شەڕێکی زۆر بێماناش بە ناوی ئاینەوەکن.
Well, part of the answer is already in what you've demonstrated here. You need to come to terms with what is beneficial for people to live in harmony. And this country is priding itself on doing that. And there are different religions, but I noticed that there was a common interest in understanding who the real enemy was of the religion. And in this case here, it was ISIS. And so there was a force that they could all agree upon that was all of their enemy. And they found that they needed to respect one another, but also for their own futures and for their grandchildren's futures, they needed to join. I imagine when you were fighting alongside of people that didn't believe in the same religion that you believed. And I believed you helped save some of their lives. And I believe that when people go to their churches, and I went to some yesterday here to see the beautiful city, and I think when people go to those, they'll find something in common, that you're helping people to understand the difference in those religions between noble and ignoble, between good and evil. And if the religion can do that, and you help children in the schools here, the school systems in England used an example that I had, a chart that helped them to understand when they read a story about your fighting, or they read a story about what took place here over the last 30 years or so especially, that they themselves could come to a conclusion of what is noble and what is not. And if you start listing all those things, you'll find things in common between the religions. And so that's when you talk about the dream needs to be stronger than the struggle, the dream has to be a noble dream. And that's the key. And if you can help all the schools, regardless of the religions, regardless of what you hear on TV from other countries about what's happening in other countries, if you can help your own schools to realize that in the religions, there are common things in humanity that are noble, and there's some that are not, and some that are good, and some that are evil.
زۆر باشە دکتۆر جەری لەگەڵەوەی کوردستان دەوڵەت نییە بەڵام بۆتە بەهەشتێک بۆ پێکەوەژیان بۆ هەمووی ئەوانەی کە پەنایان بۆ هەرێمی کوردستان هێناوە جا لە ئاینە جیاوازەکان بن لە نەتەوە جیاوازەکان بن پێت وانە ئیتر ئێستا ئەمە ئەرکی وڵاتە گەورەکانە نەتەوە یەکگرتووەکانە کە ئەم بەهەشتەی پێ دەڵێن کوردستان و ئەمەم و خەڵقەی لە خۆی گرتووە بیپارێزن نەهێڵن تووشی پەلامار ببێت.
I think it would be very positive for the United Nations to be here in a major way. I think that the United Nations should understand that even though you have many different peoples of religions living within the same borders, they are teaching people that hope has no boundaries. So the many religions within the same borders within Iraq, you're teaching the people, and the people of the UN should be watching, that hope has no boundaries.
باش دکتۆر جەری ئێوە نووسەر و لێکۆڵن لە بواری ئایندا ئەمڕۆژ هاتوون بەشدارن لە ڕۆژی نزای نیشتیمانیدا پرسیارەکەم زۆر تایبەتە بۆ بەڕێستان ئەتەمانیت لە داهاتوو ئێوەش کتێبێک لێکۆڵینەوەیەک لەسەر پێکەوەژیانی ئاینی و نەتەوەیی لە هەرێمی کوردستان بنووسن.
Well, the whole time I've been here, I have been taking a lot of notes. And so I have a few book contracts right now, so I'm trying to finish other books. But I came here because the people that invited me, and people like Ambassador Brownback, are so highly respected. I thought something's happening special in Kurdistan, and I want to see it, because in order to report on it, the first hand is always helpful. And I've been interviewing a lot of people, so yes, I plan to write on it.
زۆر باشە زۆر بەڕێز دکتۆر جەری پاتنگەل نووسەر و لێکۆڵەر لە بواری ئایندا گەلێک سوپاس بۆ بەشداریکردنتان لەگەڵمان لە ئەستودیۆی کراوەی کوردستان 24 دووبارە سوپاس بۆیەوە زۆر بەخێر بن بۆ کوردستان.
And before I leave, when we go off air, I want to get your autograph.
بە سەرچاو لە خزمەتە سەرچاو بەڵێ بەڕێزان ئەم دیدارەشمان لەگەڵ بەڕێ دکتۆر جێری پاتنگەل نووسەر و لێکۆڵەر لە بواری ئایندا لێرەدا کۆتایی هات تا دیدارێکی نوێ شاد و بەختەوەربن.